Hello and welcome to our 2023 Brand X Reviews Christmas special. For this one, I'm going to be having a bit of a general conversation with the core, a bit of a retrospective of the last year, and also look at some of the future things to come next year. Mostly positive. We do kind of get into some of the fails of this year, mostly things like Disney and so on, how they've been pumping out a lot of crap. And that seems to be a continuing trend. But we talk about a lot of the successes as well. So even though it might get a little bit negative at points, stay with us because we do try to balance it out with some positive stuff as well. So I hope you're all having a very good Christmas. And this might be the last video that we do this year. So if that's the case, we'll just say a Happy New Year to everybody as well. This video is actually going to be in two parts because we kind of rambled a little bit too much for one long video. So we can break it down into two. So here's part one. Like I say, I've got my co-reviewer, The Core, and yeah, let's take it away.
So, welcome everybody to the 2023 Christmas special, and for this one we have The Core.
Yeah, I couldn't miss the special, honey. Sorry,
Exactly.
The special episode.
Yeah, and don't call me honey, it just sounds a bit wrong. Oh no, you meant special honey. Anyway, so this one may contain Topher references, where if you're a follower of the channel, you'll appreciate them.
The Buff and the Topher.
No!
The last time Buff and the Topher in the same shot. It didn't end well for the Buff.
So yeah, just a general thing. When we talk about Christmas movies, I think last year we were talking about is Die Hard a Christmas movie? I've had a new thought about that, to be honest. One thing that kind of changes it for me, and it's all subjective, there's no right or wrong really, but as to what constitutes a Christmas movie, I don't think there's any like specific authority on that, whoever you are. It's not really for any one person to say, but for me, I would say it's probably not a Christmas movie as much as I would otherwise consider it that, because I wouldn't watch a Christmas movie any other time other than Christmas. I wouldn't watch the film Scrooged or the Santa Claus movie or Home Alone. I wouldn't watch that at any other time other than Christmas. There's like no way. But I would really watch Die Hard like in June or whenever. I'd be perfectly fine. It wouldn't feel weird watching it any other time other than Christmas. I tend to watch them at Christmas, but I don't feel like I have to. Whereas something like, I say, like Home Alone or something like that, I'd never watch that any other time other than Christmas. What do you think to that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a conversation.
Wrong, but yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, like I say, that on that level, I'd say it's probably not a Christmas movie, but yeah, everything else, every other argument, I would say is because it qualifies, but it's all subjective, isn't it? So yeah, we're going to talk about other things like from the past year, really. But Christmas movies this year, which ones have you been watching? Obviously, we both watched Invasion USA, which probably even less of a claim than Die Hard. But it's technically a Christmas movie in some ways.
Yeah, a bit boring.
Yeah, I was hoping for something a bit more. I mean, I realise it's a canon movie and they were hit and miss. I would say it was a bit of a miss, that one.
Yeah, more, well, not completely, but certainly more like missed in it.
Yeah. In fact, I've got the Blu-ray just here. So yeah, this is a Blu-ray. It's quite expensive. From CX, it was like £22. It's quite a rare one. It's put out by 88 Films, the studio, and Chuck Norris, obviously. And it's okay, but like you say, it's a bit boring, really. But that's set at Christmas. Have you watched any others this year?
Nothing I'd particularly class as a Christmas movie. But I haven't really had time to sit down and watch like any movies apart from that one, like the last couple of weeks. I've maybe been watching like, an episode or something, so I can get that in like reasonable time, like, when I come home from work or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I've been watching a few things. I had a bit of time off work. I'll tell you what's good. It's a good film anyway, but it's a new re-release, Santa Claus, the movie, 4K, very good quality. And I like this film. It's always been one that's been like a proper Christmas film to me. John Lithgow in there doing his for free
Fantastic.
thing.
How do you turn your face so red so fast? For free!
But yeah, very good 4K. Quite expensive though. It was like 20 odd pounds. But I think it skipped a generation. This I don't think it even had like a normal Blu-ray release, but because the previous ones had it on DVD. But that was very good. I watched that. I'm going to watch Scrooged tonight. The Bill Murray one. I haven't watched that for a couple of years, a couple of Christmases. Also, I rewatched Home Alone 1 and 2. Now, you can get the first one in 4K, and it does look very nice. Similar to Invasion USA, if you want Home Alone 2 on Blu-ray, it's quite a rare one in the UK. I mean, this is a UK release, but it's not an easy one to track down. It's not like really expensive, but for a second-hand Blu-ray, £15. I got this a couple of years ago, and as far as I'm aware, it's not had a re-release to bring that price down. So if you want it in the UK, you're going to be paying quite a bit of money for it. And it's got Donald Trump in it as well, so that's an extra bonus.
If you watch it with you, it's got Trumping in it, which is another bonus. Apparently.
He is. I'll tell you what's a good one. I haven't watched for a couple of years. I've not watched it this year. I probably should have done. I'll see if I can squeeze it in before Christmas. Black Christmas. It's like, you'll heard of this.
Yeah.
It was a bit like Halloween, before Halloween. It was a 70s one, and it's pretty good. It's got Margot Kidder, Lois Lane, from the Christopher Reeve movie. She's in it, and it's got I think one of the main women in it. I can never remember her name. Is it Olivia Hussey? She was in. She was the annoying woman that gets kidnapped by Pennywise the clown in the 1990 It movie. The British woman.
That bloody pussy.
But yeah, pretty good film. It's a bit of a sort of grim one for Christmas, obviously, but it's pretty good. Other ones I've watched.
Pointing out, I'm pretty sure there has been like a remake, which is probably shit. So like, make sure you know which one you're getting.
Yeah, get the 70s one. There's a early 2000s remake, and there's a very more recent remake, which I believe includes
The Message.
Exactly. In fact, where did that sound come from then? I have no idea. It's some Scottish guy just invading our video there. So yeah, that was Black Christmas. I think there's like 2 remakes. Probably avoid them. I haven't seen them, but I've heard that they're bad. Other Christmas movies. I watched Cobra. That's another one that's set at Christmas. Still the Stallone film. There's a lot of Christmas references in there, but it's not integral to the movie. So that's what it is.
Tough as the cure.
Yeah. So trying to think what else I've watched. Last night I was wanting to watch a Christmas movie, but I just wasn't really kind of in the mood. But it just felt, give one a watch. But I've got this Charles Bronson one to watch. This year I've watched that many Charles Bronson movies because I went through a bit of a phase early this year. It's ridiculous. It's like 30, 40 films or some of his that I watched. But I tracked down this one called Farewell Friend. And it is actually a Christmas film as well. When I'm watching it, it's like set at Christmas and there's loads of references in there to it. And it was like I ended up actually watching a Christmas film unknowingly. So that was that. But yeah, other than that, I'm sure there was something else that I watched that qualifies as set at Christmas, but I can't remember what it was. So I'm sure it'll come back to me.
I was watching a lot of TV. I was going to watch Mythbusters on the PlayStation Store, but that didn't quite work out.
Oh yeah, Mythbusters. Why? What's happened there? What's gone wrong?
Well, you see, it's all going digital, and it's like better when it's digital, which is why you're now having all the Discovery stuff getting removed off PlayStation, even if you've bought it.
Oh yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah.
You don't actually fucking own that shit.
Well, you will own nothing, and you will be happy. That's how that works.
Well, it is the way they're trying to push it as like an unpleasant look at like the ghost of future fucking Christmas. Like, yep, you're just going to rent it from us, and when we decide you don't have access to it, you're going to have to rent it from us again.
Yeah. No,
and I don't mean like, oh, you've rented it for a day, like like it was a video. Like, yeah, that's reasonable. I'm talking about like, yep, you've bought it, you've paid for it, like full price, and now they've decided, oh no, the deal's changed. It's going off this service. Pray we don't alter it further.
I knew where you were going with that. I've just remembered the other Christmas film I watched. I'll stop talking about Christmas movies that I've watched shortly. But Dark Angel, or in the US, I think it was called I Come in Peace. It was a Dolph Lundgren one set at Christmas. So yeah, been doing a lot of alternate Christmas movies this year. So so yeah, 2023 has been quite interesting. Some of the Disney stuff, their failures that they've been having. I mean, what successes really have they had? It's not been many. The amount of money that they've lost has just been ridiculous. When you
like touting these films like, "Oh, it's made such and such. Oh, great success." It's like, well, that's way underperforming from what it should have been. Like looking at any other kind of films they've shat out in the past.
yeah,
And like, if you look at like the budget, like even when they're like fucking around and like not including like advertising and all this other stuff they've done to like sell them, they're still coming in well under what they've like even reporting, let alone what they've actually fucking cost.
yeah, and I mean, it's not just there's lots of reasons for that. I mean, like you say, it's the amount of money that they're spending on them. It's making it more difficult to break even. A lot of their
Well, that was the
properties.
thing with that stupid like gay rom com like what was it? Boys or something. Bros. That was it. It's like, yeah, if you'd released this like on an indie budget, like at Sundance or something, it would have done moderately well and you'd have made your money back. But you've made it on like a blockbuster, like AAA budget, and then tried to put it in cinemas in front of people. And it's like, strangely enough, nobody was fucking interested.
And they insulted the audience, and they made it pretty clear that the film. I mean, yeah, a film that's about gay stuff is fine. I've seen loads of them. I've enjoyed loads of my own, loads of them. All gay jokes aside, some pretty good ones. Dog Day Afternoon, Cruising. I even went to see the film Philadelphia when I was like 30. The Tom Hanks one.
I was
Remember
going to say,
that
I saw that when I was pretty young as well.
pretty good film. With no issue there. But when you fill
But
in,
it's more like it's kind of a depressing film, sort of.
oh yeah. But it's good. It's like good acting and stuff. But you've got a film like Bros that is just pumped full of
The Message.
Here, so we need to check the like locks and the doors and things and figure out how the fuck he's getting in.
Yeah, that's a Scottish guy. He just keeps interrupting us. I think he's hacked our system, but I don't even know who it is. But yeah, so that was just Disney. Like I say, they've just been completely, falling off, coming off the rails, basically. And it's quite interesting talking about indie films because we had Sound of Freedom, which we've been talking about quite a bit on the channel this year. That gets a physical Blu-ray release on Christmas Day, but that had a lot of issues being originally owned by, originally 20th Century Fox, taken over by Disney. They shelved it. The production company bought the rights back to be able to release the film without Disney being involved.
Which
and it made a whole
at
load
least
of
they
money.
fucking did, because they could have very easily just like, yep, it's in the vault forever.
Yeah. But then it made a load of money.
Like I say, as much as a shit on them most of the time, that was one time when they were like bare minimum.
Yeah. But then Disney released Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dix, whatever it's called, on pretty much the same week, and didn't quite make the same kind of money. In fact, it lost a hell of a lot of money. Did that film, as did like a lot of other Disney movies that were like franchise movies. So not been a good year for Disney. So if they stop,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people like keep touting the success of Godzilla Minus Zero, which is like quite a decent like profit they've made on that because they didn't spend like millions on reshoots. They didn't just basically like piss a load of like money away. They didn't piss off like half the audience, like cutting down the audience as well. It's like they just made like a decent Godzilla film and released it and didn't like, reshoot the entire fucking film effectively.
and they didn't insert it full of
The message.
Yeah, not just movies this year, like sort of pop culture wise, been quite interesting because we've had a few things that kind of came out of nowhere and they were like big hits. There's that Oliver Anthony singing, the country singer. Don't know if you followed any of that when it happened, but it was like a big deal. Just this guy with a pretty decent camera and sound system that he managed to get set up, and a banjo, I think it was a banjo, and 2 dogs by his side, just kind of singing, and really kind of touched a nerve with a lot of people in a good way. And he's not right wing, as far as I'm aware. He's not like supporter of like Republicans. He sings about Republicans and Democrats being full of crap. Pretty good music. I'm not into country and western stuff, but
Well, I
yeah,
think
pretty
that's kind
good.
of it. It's like I don't really give a shit. I don't like either side of this,
Yeah,
political spectrum. But one side is completely like disproportionately like controlling the fucking like messaging and the
Yeah,
narrative and everything. So it's like, well, strangely enough, I'm mostly going to be talking about them because they're the ones that like constantly pushing this victim narrative of we're the good guys, whoa, we're the resistance, whoa. Like what we're
what's that?
doing is perfect and impossible to like criticize. Whoa. Whereas
And we
those
see that.
Republicans are just evil. They murder babies and rape children and everything else we can think of. Whoa. It's like,
And
yeah,
they put,
Republicans are shit. So are Democrats.
and they put a lot of that. What is that called that they insert into the movies?
Oh,
and-
not again.
The message.
So yeah, well, so yeah, that was that. But speaking of country music, there was a Jason Aldean thing as well. Not somebody I'd really heard of because again, I don't really listen to country and western music, well, country music. But it's pretty good to be fair. And he did that song "Try That in a Small Town," and it was all about riots and stuff. And the song, when it was released normally, wasn't that big of a deal. But when he did the music video, it became like a big deal. And it's a pretty good song, pretty good music video. And he got accused of being racist because even though he doesn't touch upon race in the video, people are saying it's racist because you're saying people shouldn't loot and riot. Well, it's like if you're associating looting and rioting with race, with black people, you're kind of racist, not Jason Aldean. So, but that was a big deal
that's
as
always
well.
been the way. If somebody's saying something you don't like, you wheel out the race card, you wheel out the homophobia card, you wheel out the he's anti-Semitic. You just wheel out whichever card
Yeah,
you
weaponized.
think is going to get the best result and say, oh, they're this, they're that, they're the other. It's like, this is fucking tired.
Yeah. So there was that whole thing, and there was the Bud Light thing as well. I mean, let's not get too much in that because that's kind of worms. But it just showed how people will vote with the wallets if it's coordinated just right. And I think the Bud Light thing happened to be an example of that. So that was pretty decent.
Yeah, it's like, strangely enough, like a load of redneck sports fans, didn't particularly like the message you were pushing. It's like, who would have thought? No, shut up, stop.
The message.
I'll do it.
So yeah, well, what I'll do is I'm just gonna end this and come back. We'll do it in 2 parts because otherwise it's gonna be quite long.
I got a
Okay, seriously, what the fuck is it with Tesco's nowadays?
Yeah, well, I'll just tell you, Lucy's made this for you. She said I was to give. I said
It's
she had
fine. You can keep it.
She had to make something. I told her, and she couldn't think, so she just wrote Topher's name on a banana.